When we talk about Jesus receiving what you call the substance from his mother, the Virgin Mary, of course we're talking about his human nature. And because we're talking about his deriving his human nature from his mother, you would think that that human nature would pass along, as it is the case with every other human being, all of the ramifications of original sin. Now, that raises all kinds of theological questions that touch upon it. One of the oldest theological questions is the question of how the soul, for example, is transmitted from parents to their children. And the two schools of thought of that are called creationism and traducianism. Traducianism says that the whole person, body and soul, is transmitted from the parents to their progeny through the natural process of birth. Others argue, which is called creationism, that every time a human being is born, that person is a brand new creation by the immediate and direct power of God's creativity. And so it's not a matter of transmitting human nature by natural processes. Now, the reason I say that this question that you've raised touches on the dispute over creationism and traducianism is that if you're a creationist, you have no problem with having a human nature coming from the mother of Jesus, yet at the same time being born without original sin if it's a direct and immediate act of divine creation. If you're a traducianist, on the other hand, where you see the body and soul being transmitted through the natural process, then the question that you raise becomes a more difficult problem. However, others have argued, particularly historically in the Roman Catholic Church, that the reason for the virgin birth and to bypass the male was not because they believed that original sin was transmitted by the male rather than the female, but rather that the miraculous dimension of Jesus' birth, being a virgin birth, was partly designed by God to interrupt the normal transmission of human nature from parents to their children in order to make it possible for a human being post-Adam to be born without original sin. Now, in the mystery of the incarnation, we don't know exactly what process God used to make that so in the birth of Jesus. We do know, as the scriptures teach us, that he was made like us in every respect except one, namely without sin and without original sin. Some have argued against that, saying if Jesus didn't have original sin, he wasn't truly human. But of course, the problem with that is this, that Adam before the fall was truly human. And we in our glorified state in heaven, without sin then, will still be human. So that original sin is not an inherent necessity for humanness. So we know theologically that God could have this child born through the virgin birth from his mother and bypassing the normal process of original sin.
R.C., I'm just curious, did some of the earliest church councils wrestle with that question?
Well, yes, they did. And of course, early on, there was a debate and a dispute over from whence Jesus' divine nature came. And Mary was called Theotokos, the mother of God, but not in the sense that Jesus derived his divine nature from his mother, but only to point out that the one that she bore and that she nurtured as his mother was God incarnate.